Hey everyone, it's Kathy.
And Paul here with iDulting.
We're here to help you navigate the crazy world of adulting.
Because let's be real, it's a wild ride. We'll be dropping tips, sharing stories,
And maybe even spilling some embarrassing secrets along the way.
so get comfortable, grab your favorite drink, get ready to laugh, learn, and level up your adulting game. This is iDulting. Don't forget to like, follow, and or subscribe, and share this podcast. Head over to iDulting.com for more information and to submit questions for us about iDulting.
And maybe even pick up some of our new merchandise. And if you know any fellow adults who need some guidance, send them our way.
And feel free to share this podcast freely out there. We'd like to get our numbers up.
So just want to let you guys know that we are partnering with Dubby Energy Drinks. And if you are a person who drinks Dubby or are interested in drinking Dubby, if you go to www.dubby.gg and order Dubby, and in your discount code, type iDulting10, you'll get 10% off your purchase.
Welcome back to the show, everyone. It's good to know you're out there. Make sure you're liking, subscribing, and spreading the word for us. Our numbers are still climbing, but we'd like them to climb a little faster, if you know what I mean.
I know that in the past we have talked about budgeting and we have talked about credit. We've talked about having fun for less, but we are going to today kind of expand on that a little bit and talk about stretching your dollars. Since you guys work hard for the money that you earn, you should know some ways to make it go a little further.
And this is low-key requested by people we talk to in the adulting arena. They've asked, and we have a particular talent after 30 years of being together, of being able to stretch our dollars a little bit. And the particular adults may or may not be related to us, but they've seen us go through tough and easy times financially. So they're witnessing it. They'd like to know more about it. So we figure we'll share.
Some of this stuff is going to be things we've already talked about, and some of the things we talk about are going to be new. We're going to try and make it quick and expand on a few things.
The first step in stretching your dollars is really, you need to understand money, not on a deep, like go to college courses for it. You can if that interests you, and you don't have to be an accountant putting everything in an app or anything like that. But it's very important that you track your spending. And we talked at length in the budget episode about it, but it's worth repeating because what gets watched kind of is where the performance is. If you don't know, you don't know, right?
And we're not talking about understanding money as a whole. We're talking about understanding your money, where it goes, how you spend it.
Right. And if you just use a budgeting app or a simple spreadsheet or even just a pen and paper, and that's honestly where we started. I had this little notebook. It was like a pocket-sized one I carried around. We would write down every dollar we spent until we had a pretty decent idea where they were going. And then we relaxed a little bit with it, but we still did it. Just it wasn't as detailed. And you'll be likely to find surprising areas where your money is disappearing.
Hello, Deli Coffee.
Those quick check runs, 7-Eleven, I call it death by 1,000 cuts.
Definitely. I was buying coffee multiple times a week and the money was just going. And now I take a coffee from home and don't spend the money. I use it on other things.
And honestly, we're old. So when we say coffee, we're talking about real, good coffee. We don't have any fancy, venti, frappy, choco lattes going on here. We're just talking about coffee. So imagine if you're a Starbucks person. And no shade at Starbucks. They make the delicious coffees. But the cost is phenomenal. I every once in a while end up at a Starbucks and can't believe people pay that for drinks.
Create a realistic budget. So once you've spent a month or two tracking how your money is spent, build a budget. The 50-30-20 rule is popular. It's 50% for your needs, rent, groceries, utilities, car insurance, gas money, 30% for your wants, dining out, entertainment, shopping on those things that aren't necessary, and 20% for savings and debt repayment. Make it realistic. Don't cut out all your fun or you won't stick to it.
No joke there. We've been victims of that. I'm an expert list maker, and I can make wonderful lists. The problem is my list is longer than my money supply, so it gets a little tight when I get on the budgeting game.
When he gets on the budgeting game, he forgets the don't cut out all the fun rule.
And I take all the fun we do have out of the food budget in this family. Automate your savings. It's often said, pay yourself first. And another way to look at this would be to make your budget rule 20, 30, 50. You need to make sure you're setting up automatic transfers from your checking account to a savings account each payday. The world is a different place than when Miss Kathy and I were growing up, and employers are different places. And it's likely as adults today, especially as emerging adults, that you're going to have the opportunity and the necessity to have more than one employer. Where when I started working, I worked for the same people for a very long time. So that has changed, and it's very important that you are paying yourself first and getting some savings put away. So make sure you have it set up automatically transferring and just going into a savings account each payday. Even a small amount adds up, and you won't miss the money if you don't see it. That's why it's important that you pay yourself first.
Right. If you base your whole budget on your expenses and you don't account for the money that's going into your savings, you'll have a budget that works and you're still saving.
Exactly. And that's vitally important for future success. It's also extremely important that you get that savings there, because that's what you're going to tap as your emergency fund if something happens. And nobody likes talking about emergencies, but they happen.
Identify spending triggers. Are you an impulse buyer? Do you spend when you're bored or stressed? You need to recognize these triggers. They can help you find a healthier, cheaper way to cope. So if you're having a bad day and something you purchase is, makes you happy, makes your day feel better, even if it's a milkshake on the way home, every time you have a bad day, you buy a milkshake. By the end of the month, half your days are good, half your days are bad, half your spending budget's gone.
Cancel any unused subscriptions. You want to audit your streaming services, apps, memberships. If you have a gym membership and you haven't been there, A, it's not working to help you get in any better shape. And B, you could use that money elsewhere. But make sure you're looking at your services and everything that you're paying for and that you're actually using them. That's low-hanging fruit to get rid of. I've even read articles, you guys can tell us better than we know, about people cycling their streaming services based on what seasons good shows are released. That's more efficient than I know how to do, but I definitely look at all of our subscriptions often.
Honestly, if you have the ability to share a subscription, if you have a roommate, if you've got a family member and you want one and they want one and you choose to share them and each pay one for the other, then you're only paying for half of what you're getting. That's a way to stretch your dollars. Not all streaming services allow you to share your stuff with other people in different locations, but some do. Look into it.
Other places that can surprisingly have money stashed away are places like your car insurance. If you've been with the same company for a while, I'm not saying they're a bad company. They all do this. Insurance increases exponentially, so it may be time to shop around. You might be able to get a discount for defensive driving. Things like that can help you.
And your credit cards. If you've been loyal and, your payments have been on time every month, you can call them and say, listen, I've been paying on time every month for a year. I need to negotiate my interest rate because I feel it's too high. A lot of times they will lower it.
So let's look at some ways that we can stretch our money, have a little fun on a dime. That's where adults can truly shine if you get creative.
Now, we talked about this in our episode of having fun on the cheap, but we're going to go over a couple of them again.
Always worth saying, for me, libraries are a gold mine, but I'm one of those rare people that has always had a library card from about the, fifth grade. So I've always used it, and I've known all that time that there's much more than books in the library. There's free movies, audiobooks, museum passes, cultural event tickets, workshops, and even games in some libraries. Do not discount libraries also for the availability of digital things. There's digital resources available like digital audiobooks, music, movies, and they're through several different services. It's all going to depend on what your local or county library has. But that works. I have several of those apps on my phone and use them regularly.
Explore nature, parks, hiking trails, beaches, scenic walks. They're all free. Usually, I mean, there may be, something you're going to specifically to see that probably only going to be a couple dollars. You can pack a picnic, extend the fun, go to the park, make some sandwiches at home, pack a picnic basket, go with your friends, go with your date, go with anybody, that you want to hang out with that day and have lunch. Guess what? You probably have a whole afternoon of sitting in the beautiful park, enjoying a good meal that you made yourself and saved money on.
Along those lines, back in high school, a group of friends, we would make just lists of scavenger hunt stuff to go get. It didn't cost us anything. We would go find a maple leaf. We would make a list and we would divide ourselves into teams, and you would have to go find those things. And then we met at a 7-Eleven. But that was out in nature. It was we were old enough at that point to drive. It was a fun time. Community events is another area where there's all sorts of things available, whether it be a free concert in the park, outdoor movie nights, festivals in the area, street fairs, block parties, art gallery openings are many times open to the public. And sometimes colleges even offer free access to public lectures.
Yeah, and if you Google free things to do near me, it picks up your location and it gives you a list and some ideas that you can do for free. And if you keep scrolling, it'll give you some things to do for a little bit of money, and it'll go on down the line like that.
And then, of course, there's DIY entertainment. Host board game nights.
I love that idea.
We've had some great family nights doing that. I know our own children have had game nights. I usually walk away from, what's that humanity one?
Cards Against Humanity.
Yeah, I have heard them laughing pretty hard at that one. Themed movie marathons, craft sessions at home with friends, puzzling.
There's also some strategic socialization that you can do. You can do potlucks and home gatherings. Instead of an expensive restaurant, you suggest a potluck where everyone brings a dish. It's cheaper and more intimate, and you probably sit around. You can talk as long as you like. You don't feel like you're getting rushed out of a restaurant. You can laugh, you can joke, and be as loud as you want, and you can enjoy everybody's homemade dish.
Happy hour and deals at restaurants is another way to save some money and stretch it. If you're going to dine out, aim for a happy hour special or look for coupons or discounts. And another sneaky way, is not so sneaky, is to drink water instead of the pricey beverages.
Yeah, and if you're going out and, you're like, hey, we got this great deal. It's, so much a person or so much for the buffet or so much for a meal or a combination, and you get a water, you know what you're going to spend.
Group discounts are another great find. Many places offer discounts for groups. The other good resource that we've used in this house is Groupon.
We have used Groupon. We went whale watching and paid half price for all of our tickets. And hey guys, be honest with your friends. Don't be shy about your budget. Suggest affordable alternatives if an expensive plan comes up. True friends understand that not everyone has the same budget that they do. And if yours is more than someone else's, be understanding.
With your close friends, don't be afraid to discuss finances, the concepts of how to stretch your dollars, no matter how much you make, or how to pay yourself first, could really change somebody's life that has no idea. And what we're finding as we talk to more emerging adults, they really don't know. It wasn't taught in school. There aren't really resources out there. So as you gain knowledge in it, don't be afraid to share that with your good friends. And again, not the details. That can be a polarizing topic. But to say, no, I choose not to do this because I put 20% of my money in savings, that's something to be proud of, not something to be ashamed of.
Savvy everyday habits cause small changes, but they create big savings. Little shifts in your daily habits can free up significant cash. Things like cook at home. Eating out frequently is the biggest money drain. Meal planning and cooking at home saves a ton of money, and it can actually be fun. If you don't know how to cook, you can learn. There are a million a million when I tell you. Recipes and tutorials on the internet showing you how to cook things that you enjoy. Sit down, watch it, try it. Maybe you'll be successful the first time. Maybe you'll change it a little and make it your own and it's personal. It can be a fun experience.
Next one, we're going to talk about shop secondhand. That's a dated phrase there for me. I've always known about thrift shopping from being a young man. What I didn't know is that depending on where you go, you can get a twofer out of it because you're shopping secondhand and supporting a charity, which always makes me feel good. Explore the thrift stores. And that gives you an entertaining thing to do, by the way. Consignment shops, online marketplaces. You can find unique items for a fraction of the cost. We've bought things secondhand.
Absolutely.
I'm not ashamed to say that. We have some great examples, one we sit on every day. Would you like to give a little bit of the details of that?
Oh, so we were in need of a new sofa, and I was in love with a sofa that was at a big furniture store, except it was $4,000, and that's not in our budget. And then I decided to go to Facebook Marketplace, put the entire name, the sofa that I wanted, and when I hit search, one popped up for less than $1,000, and it was virtually brand new.
We got a good deal.
And guys, when you go clothes shopping, guys, girls, all of you, go to the clearance rack. It may not be what you're looking for, but you may find some amazing pieces of clothing.
It's worth mentioning, if you're into high-end luxury clothing or anything like that, stop by Nordstrom Rack, non-affiliated, but someone will get a kick out of hearing that in the show. Another way to stretch some of your dollars in your financing is borrow or swap things. Need a tool for a one-time project? That's definitely prime to ask someone to borrow it. Consider organizing a clothing swap with friends instead of buying new outfits.
I had a group of moms when my children were small that our kids were just a little bit off in size. One was a little smaller than the next. And we pretty much did a whole roundabout of clothing.
Shop smarter for groceries. This is a small but big item for you emerging adults that are in your first apartment trying to deal with your own first kitchens. You want to plan your meals, make a list before you go to the grocery store. I recommend that you snack a little before you go to the grocery store. Stick to your list. Grocery stores, in fact, any retail store, is designed to make you want to and purchase impulse buys.
Make sure you look to see what's on sale, see what the digital coupons are, which is now a thing instead of regular coupons. If you can, and it doesn't taste any different, buy store brands. They're usually cheaper. And don't overbuy. Don't buy things because they're on sale, so you're going to buy 20 of them. You'll have them for a year. Just buy what you need.
The other thing about grocery stores, if you have more than one close to you, it's worth looking at what's on sale at each one. It's worth keeping an eye on what the good sale items are there. For Miss Kathy and I, oftentimes it's the meat or proteins that go on sale and it rotates at different places. It's been a little tough lately, but chicken at, I'll just say Stop and Shop, could be $1.99 and it's $2.99 at ShopRite.
But we also live near 3 grocery stores, 2 of which are right next to each other. So if something's on sale and it's a significant difference, then we will absolutely wait and buy it.
And another place to be wary of, big box stores. Not everything at big box stores is less expensive than the food stores. You need to educate yourself on that. Yes, the deals look fantastic because you get 42 pounds or whatever it is, but it doesn't necessarily always mean it's less expensive than your food store. And depending on where you live and how you get around, you can save some money here and you can stretch some money by planning your trips, by walking places, biking, taking public transportation,
Carpooling.
So by adopting these strategies, adults can gain financial control, reduce stress, and genuinely enjoy their lives without feeling like they're missing out on experiences. It's about living intentionally and not just spending reflexively.
Just remember, you've got this, adults. Keep your head up, your spirits high, and keep adulting with us. Go forth and conquer the world, or at least your to-do list.
And don't forget to like, follow, and or subscribe. Tell your friends, share the podcast, and head over to iDulting.com for more information and to connect with us. See you on the next episode. Be safe.